question. Would you invest in marijuana? We have found two people who do, and they want you to do it too. It's also today's viewer vote. Go to cnbc.com/vote and let us know where you stand on that.
All right, it has been 6 months now since Colorado became the first state to allow pot for recreational use. But don't expect New Jersey to follow suit, as Governor Chris Christie told Squawk Box yesterday.
I'm against legalization of marijuana. I think it's wrong. I think we should do it.
Well, Governor Christie isn't the only governor against it. Only Washington State and Colorado have green-lighted recreational use so far. So clearly there are some barriers to growth. Brendan Kenny is CEO of Privateer Holdings. He's the first private equity firm dedicated to the marijuana market. David Dinenberg is CEO of Kind Banking, which aims to be the GE capital, if you will, for the pot industry. Now, viewers, you can weigh in on this. Go to cnbc.com/vote because we want your thoughts as well, and we'll put the vote on the bottom of the screen in just a couple of minutes. Gentlemen, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Brendan, it's a pleasure to be here.
I'd like to start with you, Brendan. You know, we highlighted that soundbite from Governor Christie yesterday. He is not the only governor who is against this. So I wonder what kind of impingement that is to your growth in your business.
Well, thank you, Sue. Governor Christie talks about the mandate he has with 61% of the vote. I would argue that 86% of Americans believe that medical cannabis should be legal, and 71% of Americans believe that cannabis will be legal. So there's a mandate there on the other side where the American populace disagrees with him.
All right. Now, David, let me turn to you. You want to be the GE capital, if you will, of this particular market. Tell me what services you want to offer some of these companies. Most of them are privately held, certainly, but they also have a tough time getting access to cash by the sheer nature of the business that they're in, correct?
Thank you, Sue. Yes. Kind Banking is the first full-service financial solution for the legal cannabis and hemp industry. Currently, we offer financing via debt, convertible debt, as well as we make private equity investments into companies. We have other services coming out in the very near future, as well for merchant services, as well as payroll services, as well as vaulting services. We've found...
Let me just remind our viewers right now that they can vote in on this. We want to know, would you invest in a marijuana business? You can go to cnbc.com/vote, and we'll give you the results in just a couple of minutes. David, I'll get back to you in one moment, but Brendan, tell me how much money you've been able to raise, because I think there was some impediments to raising money as short as maybe 2 years ago, but apparently that has all changed now because of states like Washington State and Colorado. Is that a correct read?
That's exactly right. We've been polling investors for the last 4 years. To date, we've raised $22 million from investors from around the world who are interested in this industry. This month, we will announce that we have raised an additional $50 million, at least $50 million more. It has gotten much easier over the last 4 years as people realize that change in the end of prohibition is near. Certainly there's been momentum with the launch of retail cannabis in Colorado on January 1st. And then next week, it looks like on July 8th, we'll see the first retail stores open up here in Washington State.
So, David, talk to me, though, about the political climate. I mean, right now, the political climate is perhaps, on the federal level anyway, slightly more friendly to the use of cannabis for medical purposes and perhaps for recreational purposes. But we have an election coming up, and if we get a change in administration in terms of the party, does that work for or against your business?
It's a very interesting topic. I look at it like this. It would be very difficult for any politician to run for national office today, like Brendan mentioned earlier, with the majority of America in favor of some form of legalization, whether it be medical or recreational. So I'm optimistic that in 2016, we will definitely see a new White House take over, obviously, but I do think that the medical legalization has a very good chance of passing. Currently, the FDA is looking into the medicinal value of marijuana.
And Brendan, I'll give you the final word. I know that the Canadian government has a very different program where Health Canada basically runs that particular system, and it's a rather onerous system, but apparently, in your opinion, there's less risk because it is so highly regulated. Is that true?
That's entirely correct. So we look at international opportunities as well. We've invested $20 million in a facility in Canada where we have a federal license to produce, process, package, and distribute cannabis to medical cannabis patients through our Tilray subsidiary.
All right, best of luck to you both. Appreciate it, Brendan and David. Let's lock in the vote right now. We asked you, would you invest in a marijuana business? Right now, as we locked in the vote, 76% of you said yes, 24% of you said no. So the majority, Bill, seems to be in favor of it.
Big thumbs up from our viewers here on